I never had a problem finding friends and associating myself with a certain group of people. Yeah, there was the occasional drama here and there, but that never really made me feel distant from my friends. I always had a place, a safety, a security. But then I thought to myself, what if I did have a hard time? What if I had such a broad range of friends but never really felt like I belonged? What if the people that I called my home were the very reason that caused me to feel so left out? Meet the Carters. This is Deborah. She's my college coworker who initially looked black but ended up being full-blown Korean. Every time we worked together, she would always surprise me with her bits of Korean and the culture she grew up with. I found out she was one of 4 of her family. Andrea, Deborah's little sister, also being half black and half Korean. She portrays the characteristics of a black person, but is also proud to be Korean. And lastly, this is Linda, the oldest of the 2. She takes so much responsibility in her life and seems to carry the title of the oldest very well. Also proud of being half black and Korean, she takes a very different perspective on how she got there.
Like most of the people that are half, just because we all kind of look the same, other than the eyes, but we all look the same and we all have been through kind of the same experiences. So I'm mostly with mixed people, like black and white or black and Mexican, things like that.
I'm always around Korean people. I know the Korean culture, so I would say that I probably identify mostly with the Korean culture. As far as black people, black people are always thinking I'm Asian. They don't even think I'm black. And then the Korean people, they think I'm black. They don't even think I'm Korean. So it's like, it's 50-50 actually.
Does that, like, I guess, ever bother you that, like, you kind of don't fit into either races? Like, that you're just kind of categorized into one?
Yes. Like, now I'm starting to hang out more with black people just being in Orange County, and there aren't a lot of mixed people out here. It's mostly white. So I'm kind of hanging out with black people more, but like before, I never hung out with them really, and I never hung out with Asian people because they stick to themselves, and black people, their personalities are really aggressive. And since I grew up in Korean culture, like my personality isn't that aggressive.
To be honest, I hung out with Mexicans, but hanging out with black people, they would always remind me that I am Asian just because I wasn't like the typical black person. I didn't like all the same stuff, and then I couldn't really hang out with Asians either because I just didn't like the same stuff as them either.
Everybody now is mixed. Me, when I was in high school, it was you're either black or you're Korean. I mean, for me, it was either I'm black or Korean, and I did take the black side. I've always represented the black side when I was in high school, but now that I'm an adult and I've got my sisters and then their friends and everybody else is mixed, everybody's just like everything, so now I just don't think it really matters.
We have lighter skin, and these are the things that some black people, at least the black people we were around, like they liked. So it's kind of like, oh, you have chinky eyes, or oh, you look weird, or I've never seen someone that looks like you. But like inside, I know like they want to look like us. Is that bad?
Actually, that more offense because you're mixed, or because like when someone makes fun of you, like because you're one thing?
I take more offense to not really being mixed or anything. It's just because they're just pointing me out because of my race. Like they're just making me feel different, and I don't really feel different, but they're like when they talk about my race, then it makes me feel different. It just reminds me that I'm not the same as all of them. I can't fully say, oh yeah, I'm black.
I remember one time I was with Andrea, and we were with her friends, and they were talking about gumbo. I mean, it was kind of a bad example because we actually didn't know what was in gumbo, and they were like, oh yeah, I'm about to get it, blah blah blah, and we were like, oh yeah, we love that too. And then they were like, well, what's in it? Name 3 things, and we had no idea, and they super called us out on it. But it was just an awkward situation, and it was just kind of like those things. Like we didn't really grow up with black culture. Like we were mostly raised by our mom, so we were mostly in Asian things. So like, but when Asian people like bring up something, we'll be like, oh yeah, I love they'll be shocked. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you know about that? I'm like, I am half. I mean,
I feel bad saying black girl. Like, I feel like that's how they talk about me. But when I did go out with them, I did have kind of a difficult time because I don't know if maybe it was just her, but to me it's stereotypical of all of them that she was just so like loud and ghetto and getting into trouble. And I'm like, oh, I was raised, this is gonna be bad, but I was raised Asian, so I was raised like
Conservative?
Yeah, conservative and like, I don't want to say with morals, but yeah, like with class and
with morals?
See, that's what, no, not morals. Like I was, okay, it's just the way I was raised then. I was raised by my mom. She's Korean, so I wasn't really around the whole ghetto everything. I wasn't like that, and I wasn't all outspoken like most of them are. So.
Doesn't this
I
sound
feel
racist right
now,
now?
now I feel like
because she's raised by Korean people. And that's where that comes from.
Alrighty. Is there any last comments, anything that you guys want to say or share?
Well, like on standardized tests and like applications when it asks for race, I just have to put this in. I always write black. Like there's no reason for it, but it always says mark 1, and there wasn't an option like in middle school and elementary for other. Like now there are more, like you can mark 2 or more, or you can mark other if you're mixed. But before, when it wasn't like that, I just used to always mark black. So that was also a reminder, like, I can't even mark Asian, but I don't know why I couldn't mark Asian, because my mom was Asian and my dad's black, so I could really choose either or. But for some reason, I just never could just mark the Asian box.
That is true.
That is true.
That's
I always
odd.
did mark black too.
And why can't we mark the Asian box?
Probably, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Probably because when you mark the Asian box and then
They're gonna look
they
at
see
you,
you, they're like, you're not Asian.
like, why did you just lie on your test?
Are you trying to be higher up? See, that's what I mean.
See, that's what
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a mental thing, I think, or whatever. But when I'm around Korean people, I'm not just going to introduce myself to anybody. Like, they're going to have to talk to me. So, it's just different attitudes. Yeah.
Anything else? Alrighty, thank you so much.